We begin tonight overseas with a race against time as rescue teams in Morocco scour the rubble in a furious search for survivors. The area's strongest earthquake in more than a century has killed nearly 3,000, with thousands more injured. But those numbers are expected to rise in the hours and days ahead. The destruction and devastation are beyond words, with at least 100,000 children impacted by the disaster, and that's according to UNICEF. The epicenter of the 6.8 quake is located in the country's high Atlas Mountains, where buildings crumbled and left communities cut off from the outside world. Villagers are digging by hand or shovels because getting heavy equipment into these remote areas has been nearly impossible. International aid groups, including specially trained dogs, have joined local rescue efforts. We have a lot of news to bring you, and CBS's Chris Livesay will start us off tonight from the village of Moulay Brahmin. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Nora. We're still in that crucial time known as the golden period, the best window for finding people who may still be alive, trapped beneath the rubble. But now, more than 72 hours since the quake, that window is closing. Day 3 of the rescue effort, with Moroccans clinging to the hope of finding survivors. But with every body removed from the rubble, hope is slipping through the blistered fingers they've been digging with. Across Morocco, footage captures the moment this North African country erupted into panic, and now into a race as they search for the living and grieve for the dead. In the town of Talat al-Kaoub, young Maoud al-Atnasser weeps over the death of his little brother, just 7 years old. I thank God for the beautiful memories I have of him, says his father, Brahim. They're all I have left of him. The heartache and destruction are worst here in the remote high Atlas, where twisting roads, steep cliffs, and rustic dwellings, the very things that make these mountains so jaw-dropping, made the earthquake and its aftermath so deadly. Many of these homes are made out of mud bricks, so they don't just collapse, they crumble, and they don't leave any air pockets for survivors who tend to just choke to death on the dust. And if there was anyone to save, locals tell us they had to save themselves. The walls were shaking. I thought I was going to die, says Aisha Lachgar. A boulder smashed my leg. Thank God my son rescued me from the rubble. Towns are cut off and survivors forced to sleep on the streets. We feel completely abandoned here, says Qaida Atlikid. No one has come to help us. Aid has been slow to trickle in, and the government hasn't allowed many foreign crews in. So much of the relief effort has relied on locals like these, driving back and forth to the grocery store in Marrakesh, more than 30 miles away, to bring food, water, and supplies. 85-year-old Saida Ben Stiltne wonders who would still be alive if the government had sent help quickly. Dozens of people died here, she says. They didn't have to. Now, Morocco has been delivering aid, but this is a lot of remote ground to cover. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. is standing by, ready to give help of its own, but Morocco has yet to accept that offer. Nora?
That has frustrated some nations. Chris Livesay, thank you.